please. Let me keep my baby, she cried in chains. The cowboy took her hand, and the judge went pale. Chapter 1. The Weight of Iron. The iron shackles cut into Clara Mason's wrists as she presses her baby son against her chest. The courthouse basement reeks of mold and despair, but Clara's grip on 3-month-old Thomas never wavers. Her wedding dress is torn at the shoulder, blood dried on the white fabric, but her eyes burn with the fierce protection only a mother knows. Please, let me keep my baby. Judge Whitmore stands outside the cell bars, his black robes making him look like death itself. Behind him, Sheriff Brennan shifts his weight, hand resting on his gun belt like a threat he's eager to keep. You lost that right when you killed your husband. I didn't kill anyone. You know I didn't. Mrs. Cordelia Ashworth steps into the lamplight, her expensive dress a stark contrast to the dungeon surroundings. She runs a town orphanage like her personal kingdom, and her smile never reaches her cold eyes. The child will be better off without a murderer for a mother. Clara's chains rattle as she rocks Thomas, trying to soothe his hungry cries. 3 months since William died. 3 months of accusations and lies. 3 months of watching these vultures circle her family like they're already picking over the bones. He needs me. He's still nursing. Mrs. Ashworth has wet nurses, very experienced. The older woman's laugh sounds like breaking glass. Don't worry, dear. I'll find him a lovely family. Someone who can provide properly. You mean someone who can pay properly. Sheriff Brennan strikes the cell bars with his baton, the sound echoing through the stone chamber like a gunshot. Watch your tongue, girl. Clara doesn't flinch. Fear left of the day, they drag her from her home in chains. Now there's only rage and the desperate need to protect her child from these monsters wearing badges and respectability like masks. A shadow moves in the courthouse stairwell. Boot heels echo on stone steps. Someone's coming down. Someone who doesn't belong to their little circle of corruption. Mighty small man, threatening a chained woman with a baby. The voice cuts through the basement air like a knife. A stranger emerges from the shadows. Tall, weathered, with the kind of eyes that have seen too much death and not enough justice. His hat sits low, but Clara can see the steel in his gaze. Sheriff Brennan turns, hand moving to his gun. This ain't your business, stranger. Maybe not, but I'm making it my business. Judge Whitmore's face darkens. He's not used to being challenged, especially not in his own courthouse. Power has made him soft and careless. And who are you to make demands? The stranger steps in the lamplight, and Clara sees something that makes her heart skip. A badge hidden beneath his coat. Not local law. Federal. Someone who remembers what justice used to look like. Marshal Jesse Kane. And before you ask, yes, I have jurisdiction here. The name hits like a thunderclap. Clara has heard whispers about Jesse Kane, a federal marshal who lost his family 5 years ago. Some say it broke him. Others say it made him dangerous. Judge Whitmore tries to recover his composure, but sweat beads on his forehead despite the cool basement air. You have no jurisdiction here, Marshal. I have jurisdiction wherever federal crimes are committed, like murder, like kidnapping, like selling children. The accusation hangs in the air like smoke from a gunshot. Mrs. Ashworth's face goes pale, but she lifts her chin with practiced arrogance. How dare you suggest? I'm not suggesting anything. I'm stating facts. Jesse pulls out a leather folder, official papers crackling as he unfolds them. I've been investigating reports of corruption in this territory. Missing children. Families destroyed by convenient legal rulings. Property seized under questionable circumstances. Clara feels something she hasn't felt since her arrest. Hope. It's small and fragile, but it's there. This woman was married to William Mason, a good man who worked hard and paid his debts. Funny how he turned up dead right after he started asking questions about certain financial irregularities. Sheriff Brennan's hand tightens on his gun grip. You're treading on dangerous ground, Marshal. I've been treading on dangerous ground for 20 years. It's where I do my best work. Thomas starts crying again, his small voice echoing off the stone walls. Clara tries to comfort him, but the chains make every movement a struggle. What do you want from us? Judge Whitmore's voice has lost its authority, reduced to the whine of a man watching his empire crumble. The truth, all of it. Jesse approaches the cell, his eyes meeting Clara's through the bars. She sees recognition there, not of her specifically, but of what she represents. Another victim of the system he's sworn to protect, failed by the very people who should have saved her. Mrs. Mason, I'm going to need you to tell me everything. About your husband, about what he discovered, about why they really want your son. Clara looks at Thomas, then at the marshal who might be her only chance. The truth is dangerous. The truth got William killed. But silence means losing her baby to these monsters. William found their ledgers. Names, dates, amounts. Children sold like cattle to the highest bidder. Mrs. Ashworth steps forward, her mask finally slipping. You have no proof of such wild accusations. Don't I? Jesse's smile is sharp as a blade. Funny thing about being a federal marshal. People talk to me. People who are tired of being afraid. People who want to see justice done. The basement falls silent, except for Thomas's soft whimpering. Clara can feel the power shifting, see the certainty draining from her captors' faces. Judge Whitmore straightens his robes, trying to salvage his dignity. Even if these allegations were true, which they're not, this woman still killed her husband. Did she? Or did someone else kill William Mason because he got too close to the truth? The question hangs between them like a loaded gun. Clara watches Jesse's face, sees the determination there, the promise of a man who's lost everything and has nothing left to fear. I want to see all the evidence against Mrs. Mason, every witness statement, every piece of physical proof, and I want to see it now. You can't just... I can and I will. Unless you prefer, I send word to the territorial governor about the irregularities I've already documented. Thomas reaches a small hand toward the bars, toward Jesse. The marshal's expression softens for just a moment, and Clara sees the ghost of the father he used to be. Don't worry, son. We're going to get you back to your mama. Sheriff Brennan starts to object, but Judge Whitmore raises a hand to stop him. The older man's calculating eyes study Jesse, like a chess player, considering his next move. Very well, Marshal, but you'll find everything is perfectly legal and above board. I'm sure I will. Jesse's voice carries the weight of a man who's seen enough corruption to fill a graveyard. But as he looks at Clara and her baby, something else creeps in. Hope. The possibility that this time, he might not be too late. The iron chains around Clara's wrists suddenly feel a little lighter. Jesse spreads the papers across a wooden crate, the basement lamplight casting shadows over what passes for evidence against Clara Mason. Each document tells a story of careful fabrication. Witness statements that contradict each other on basic facts. A coroner's report signed by Dr. Hammond, who died of consumption 6 months before William Mason's death. Testimony from Martha Wells, who was visiting her sister 3 counties away when the alleged murder occurred. This is all lies. Judge Whitmore's voice carries less authority now, more desperation. Prove it. I intend to. Jesse folds the papers with deliberate care, each crease an insult to their shoddy craftsmanship. Behind him, Clara shifts in her cell, trying to keep Thomas quiet while the men decide her fate. Sheriff Brennan steps closer to the bars, his hand never leaving his gun. You're fishing in dangerous waters, Marshal. I've been fishing these waters for 20 years. Know all the best spots. Jesse pulls a chair close to Clara's cell, settling down like he has all the time in the world. The iron bars separate them, but something passes between their eyes. Recognition. The look of people who've been broken by the same kind of evil. Tell me about William, about what he found. Clara cradles Thomas against her chest, her voice barely above a whisper. He was a good man, honest, paid his debts, minded his business, but he started noticing things. What kind of things? Families losing their homes over debts they never owed. Children disappearing from the orphanage, but no records of where they went. Property deeds changing hands overnight. Thomas stirs in her arms, his tiny fist grasping at empty air. Clara rocks him gently, her chains rattling with each movement. William found their ledgers. Names, amounts, destinations. Jesse leans forward. Where are those ledgers now? Hidden. But William's dead and I'm here, and soon they'll have Thomas. The admission hangs in the fetid air like smoke from a dying fire. Judge Whitmore exchanges glances with Sheriff Brennan. Their silent conversation more damning than any confession. Where did you hide them, Clara? She looks at Thomas, then at Jesse, weighing trust against survival. In the well, behind our cabin, wrapped in oilcloth inside an old ammunition box. Smart woman. Not smart enough to keep my husband alive. The guilt in her voice cuts deep. Jesse recognizes it, carries the same weight in his own chest. The burden of failing the people you love most. I failed them, too. Clara's eyes search his face. Who? My wife, Sarah. My daughter, Emily. 5 years ago. House fire while I was away on martial business. The words come hard, like pulling bullets from old wounds. Jesse stares at the stone floor, seeing ashes and memories. By the time I got home, there was nothing left but lies about faulty chimney flues. But I kept digging. Found out the fire was arson, ordered by a corrupt judge who wanted to silence Sarah's testimony about election fraud. I'm sorry. I wasn't there when they needed me. Clara shifts Thomas to her other arm, her chain scraping against stone. But you're here now. For us. What if I'm too late again? The question echoes in the basement, like a prayer, without an answer. Above them, footsteps cross the courthouse floor. Judge Whitmore whispers urgently to Mrs. Ashworth, their conspiracy adapting to new threats. The boy leaves tomorrow. Mrs. Ashworth's voice carries the finality of a death sentence. She's already counting the money some wealthy family will pay for a healthy baby with no questions asked. Clara's grip tightens on Thomas. Over my dead body. Judge Whitmore's smile is cold as winter ground. That can be arranged. Jesse stands, his hand moving to his gun. The threat hangs between them like a blade waiting to fall. But Thomas chooses that moment to cry, his infant voice filling the basement with innocent sound that cuts through all their adult hatred. I need to see that well. Clara meets his eyes through the bars. It's dangerous. Brennan's got men watching the property. Everything we're doing is dangerous. Night falls like a curtain across the territory. Jesse slips through shadows toward the Mason cabin, a ghost moving through a world that forgot what justice looks like. The well sits behind the house, its stone mouth dark as a grave. He lowers the bucket on its rope, feeling for the ammunition box Clara described. His fingers find metal oilcloth, evidence that could topple an empire built on stolen children and murdered dreams. The rifle shot splits the darkness like thunder. Jesse spins, dropping the ledgers as Sheriff Brennan steps from behind the cabin. Smoke rising from his gun barrel. Should have minded your own business, Marshal. The bullet catches Jesse in the shoulder, spinning him against the well's stone rim. Blood flows hot down his arm, but his hand finds his gun, returns fire. Brennan dives for cover, shouting for his deputies. Jesse grabs the ledgers and runs, crashing through underbrush while bullets whistle past his head. Behind him, voices call out coordinates, organizing a manhunt. But Jesse knows these hills, knows how to disappear when darkness is your only friend. He stumbles back to the courthouse, bleeding and breathless, clutching the evidence that might save Clara and Thomas, or get them all killed. Clara sees him first, pressing against the bars as he staggers down the basement steps. Did you find them? I found them, but they found me too. Blood seeps through his shirt, staining the ledgers he carries. Clara's face goes pale in the lamplight. Are you hurt? I'll live. Question is, will we all live long enough to see justice? Above them, boots thunder across floorboards. Angry voices plan their next move. Outside, Mrs. Ashworth's carriage waits in the darkness, ready to take baby Thomas to his new life as someone else's son. Jesse opens the first ledger. Pages filled with names and numbers that tell the story of systematic destruction. Children sold like livestock. Families destroyed for profit. A whole territory bled dry by the people sworn to protect it. This is enough to hang them all. Clara shifts Thomas in her arms, the baby growing weaker from stress and poor conditions. Her milk is drying up from fear and malnutrition, another weapon in their enemy's arsenal. Will anyone believe it? They'll have to. It's all here. Every transaction, every bribe, every family they destroyed. But as Jesse speaks, he knows the truth. Having evidence and living to present it are two different things. Judge Whitmore built his empire on violence and corruption. He won't let it fall without a fight. The basement door creaks open. Footsteps on stone stairs. Their time is running out, measured in heartbeats and a baby's weakening cries. The footsteps on the basement stairs belong to a young clerk, not death itself. His face is pale as winter frost, and his hands shake as he delivers a telegram that will either save them all or seal their doom. Jesse snatches the paper through blood loss and pain, the words swimming before his eyes like salvation written in code. Territorial Governor Reynolds sending investigators stop allegations, judicial misconduct stop federal, oversight immediate stop. Judge Whitmore reads over Jesse's shoulder, watching 20 years of carefully constructed corruption crumble with each typed word. His empire built on stolen children and murdered dreams, reduced to telegraph paper and government oversight. You did this. I did my job. But Whitmore didn't climb to power by accepting defeat. He steps back from the cell, his mind already calculating angles, searching for the leverage that's kept him untouchable for 2 decades. You want the woman? Take her. Take the baby. Just walk away. Jesse looks at Clara through the iron bars, at baby Thomas sleeping against her chest. The offer hangs between them like a loaded gun pointed at his conscience. And let you keep destroying families? Whitmore's smile is sharp as broken glass. He knows exactly where to strike, which wounds never heal properly. You can't save everyone, Marshall. You couldn't save your own. The words hit like physical blows. Sarah's face flashes before Jesse's eyes, Emily's laughter echoing from the grave. 5 years of guilt. 5 years of wondering what if, weaponized by a man who's made a career destroying innocence. Your wife screamed your name when the flames took her. Your little girl cried for Daddy while the smoke filled her lungs. Where were you then? Jesse's knees threatened to buckle. The ledger slipped from his bloodied hand, evidence scattered like fallen leaves. Whitmore presses his advantage with the precision of a surgeon cutting out hope, playing hero in some other town, chasing some other criminal, while your family burned. Clara's voice cuts through the psychological torture, clear and strong despite her chains. Don't let my son grow up in a world where men like him make the rules. Something breaks inside Jesse. Not his resolve, but the chains of guilt he's carried since the fire. Clara's right. This isn't about what he couldn't save. It's about what he can save right now, in this moment, in this place. We're going upstairs. Sheriff Brennan blocks the stairway, his gun drawn and ready. Nobody's going anywhere. Step aside, Brennan. You're bleeding out, Marshall. Time to be realistic about your situation. Jesse gathers the scattered ledgers with his good arm, pain shooting through his wounded shoulder. But the pain clears his mind, focuses his purpose. Mrs. Ashworth, prepare the carriage. We'll take the child tonight. Like hell you will. Jesse pushes past Brennan, using his federal authority like a shield. Behind him, Clara struggles with her chains, Thomas beginning to cry as tension fills the basement air. The courthouse proper feels like stepping into a different world. Word is spread through town like wildfire. Farmers cluster near the windows. Shopkeepers whisper in the aisles. Mill workers pack the gallery. People who lived under Whitmore's boot, but never had the courage to speak. Jesse spreads the ledgers across the judge's bench, each page a testament to systematic evil. Clara stands beside him, still chained but defiant, holding Thomas like a promise that some things are worth fighting for. Ladies and gentlemen, I present evidence of criminal conspiracies spanning 20 years. Judge Whitmore pounds his gavel, trying to restore his crumbling authority. This court is not in session. This court is exactly where it needs to be. Jesse reads from the ledgers. Names of children sold to wealthy buyers. Properties seized through fabricated debt claims. Families destroyed for profit. Each revelation sends murmurs through the crowd. Mrs. Ashworth makes her final play, reaching for Thomas with desperate hands. This child belongs with his mother. His mother is a murderess. His mother is a victim, like all the others you've destroyed. The crowd stirs as recognition dawns. These aren't distant crimes, but wounds inflicted on their community, their neighbors, themselves. Mary Henderson steps forward, her voice breaking with years of suppressed grief. Judge, is it true what they're saying? Behind her, others find their courage. About the children you sold? About the families you destroyed? About the lies you told us? Judge Whitmore's face goes pale as he realizes the narrative has slipped from his control. 20 years of fear-based authority crumbling under the weight of united opposition. Sheriff Brennan tries to restore order through violence, drawing his gun on the crowd. But Jesse, despite his wound, moves faster. The confrontation is brief but decisive. Brennan falls, his badge rolling across the courthouse floor like a symbol of corrupted authority finally stripped away. It's over, Judge. Whitmore straightens his robes, trying to salvage dignity from defeat. This isn't over. Men like me, we always find a way. Not this time. The sound of approaching horses echoes from outside. Federal marshals, sent by the territorial governor. Real law enforcement, uncorrupted by local politics and personal greed. Clara's chains are removed with bolt cutters borrowed from the blacksmith. The iron falls away like discarded nightmares, and Thomas settles peacefully in his mother's proper embrace. But the story's resolution comes in the quiet moments after justice prevails. Clara sits on the courthouse steps, holding her son freely while Jesse tends his wound with strips torn from her skirt. What will you do now? Raise my son. Remember my husband. Try to forgive. Her voice carries the strength of a woman who survived hell and emerged intact. Jesse sees in her face the peace he's been searching for since Sarah and Emily died. And you? Will you stay? Jesse looks at the courthouse, at the town slowly waking from its nightmare. Someone needs to watch the new judge, make sure he's better than the old one. For a while. Clara walks out of the courthouse as a free woman, baby Thomas healthy in her arms and Jesse beside her as protector, not purchaser. The corrupt system that tried to destroy her family lies in ruins behind them. The well where she hid the evidence stands in the distance, the same well where she and William once drew water for their modest dreams. Truth, like water, finds a way to rise from hidden depths. Some fights are worth losing everything for. Some children are worth dying to protect. And sometimes justice comes not from the system, but from people brave enough to stand against it. Clara's tears of desperation have become tears of joy. The marshal who took her hand has helped her reclaim her life. And the judge who thought himself untouchable has learned that truth, once unleashed, can topple any empire built on lies.